What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me for another video. I am your host, Crypto Glenn. I know I have been away for a long time. I was busy trying to get better at technical analysis. The market was in an abysmal state, and I did not want to take a look at it. In all seriousness, I just wanted to try and just get better at the technical analysis skill. I think whether you're investing in crypto or stocks or anything, any other investment that could be tracked with charts, learning technical analysis can suit you very well. So if you haven't tried to teach yourself or learn technical analysis, I highly suggest that you do. Getting right into the video, guys, I'm gonna try to make this a shorter video. I don't want this to be long, but we've got some excitement that's been happening in the crypto space, and I like to talk about it, and I want to share the information with you guys. So first and foremost, I think the most impressive story that we have here is Ripple is going on an absolute tear. 43 cents currently, up 31% today. 2 days ago, this coin was at like 24 cents. So if you've been holding this coin through its ups, its downs, and you bought more when it was down, you get a big congratulations. I want to go on record and state that none of the information provided in this video is to be used for financial advice. Rather, you should do your own due diligence. I'm simply sharing what I'm finding. What's been causing this massive positive price action with XRP? If we take a look here at CNBC, and this was even making its rounds on Twitter, Sabahai, and I honestly hope I pronounced that right, forgive me if I did not, did an interview with CNBC and basically stated that the Xrapid technology we all have known about and have been waiting for it to go live is getting ready to go live probably sometime in the next month. And it has had absolute massive effects on the price action for XRP. It's no secret that XRP has well over 120 banks signed up for its X-Current technology, and I guess the plan is to upsell them to Xrapid once they start to see how well this thing performs. Outside of that, it is also, XRP has also been added to Okcoin. And along with Okcoin, or being listed on Okcoin, so has Stellar, Zcash, Cardano, and OX. Personally, this is great because Okcoin, like Coinbase, I believe is a US exchange, which means that there's certain parameters that have to be greenlit before you can even have an exchange. In order for certain coins to be listed on those exchanges, the powers that be basically have to give them the okay. So for us to now be able to purchase XRP here in the States, this is a major step forward. And I think between Okcoin listing XRP, and a lot of these coins are even slated to show up on another popular exchange, I think we all know who, and the news about Xrapid coming out, it has had absolute tremendous positive price action on XRP. Now the cool thing about this is no secret again, XRP has well over 120 partners signed up, like actual meaningful partners. Like you can look at XRP and actually see the utilitarian or the utility of this coin. It's not in startup phase where it's trying to get things like, no, this thing is, it's moving, it's got legs, it's moving. And this thing is all over Asia, it's all over the Middle East. And I think that says a lot. And you look at Middle East, you look at the oil reserves that they have, just kind of infrastructure that they already have. You already know they're moving tons and tons of money to and from the region. And to know that a lot of banks over there are using XRP, X-Current, and soon to be probably Xrapid is phenomenal. It's cheaper, it's faster than conventional ways. You can send money to and receive money from without it taking 3 to 5 days. So this actually solves a real world problem. Absolutely fantastic. And guys, listen, if you look at some of my other videos, I was very hard on XRP back when it was Ripple. And I'm not too big to admit when I was wrong, but it looks like I may have been wrong on this. So if you're holding XRP and you've been holding XRP and you're one of those people who tried to explain, oh, this is gonna, I apologize, I was wrong. I'm still in my fact-finding phase, but everything looks pretty good so far. So XRP absolutely dominating the market space right now at 43 cents. It is Aurora. No idea who they are. But they're a strong number 2 on today's gainers. Next up, within a couple days here, the SEC is going to basically talk about their verdict, their decision to either grant or deny the Bitcoin ETF. Now, I think this is super important and cannot stress enough, because there are a few ETFs that I guess are on the chopping block here. The first one being from CBOE, the VanCheck Solid X. Personally, I think this one, if you haven't heard about it, I think this one is going to be geared more towards the institutional funds versus the retail investors. The retail investors being folks like you and I know a lot of my audience on here may not be fully versed and know what an ETF is, so I'm just going to break it down for you real quick. An ETF is nothing more than funds traded on an exchange. Okay? It's basically a marketable security that tracks an index, commodity, bonds, or basket of assets like an index fund. Unlike mutual funds, ETF trades like common stock on a stock exchange. So you can buy and sell with relative ease. And I know I just said something in there not too long ago, marketable security. What is that? If I remember correctly, a marketable security are liquid financial instruments that can quickly be converted into cash at a reasonable price, and the price at which they're sold at don't have any severe adverse effects on the market price of other assets that have not been liquidated, basically. Okay. Now, I think this ETF, if it's granted, is going to be a huge game changer, and I'll tell you why. So if I understand correctly, in order for an ETF to be granted, you have to actually own the underlying asset, I believe, that you want to offer in a fund. So if that's the case for Bitcoin, for the Bitcoin ETF, they're basically saying, well, you have to have Bitcoin in this fund. Well, then that might start to put a lot of things in perspective that we may not have known before. And what I mean by that is the CBOE, when they launched the futures program at the end of last year, it's no secret, it tamed Bitcoin. It made the days of having exciting upward trends and heartbreaking lows, it basically rendered that all but gone. It was very stagnant, didn't really move a whole lot. There was no real excitement with Bitcoin. Well, how would that look, or how would that sound if we learn that the futures market allowed the price of Bitcoin to come down? And I'm not saying this is what it is, but it could be, right? If the price of Bitcoin was brought down by the futures contracts and futures market, only to be bought back at a lower price for the CBOE VanCheck Solid X ETF. And then that is part of the institutional money that everyone talks about. Well, wait until the institutional money comes in. And I think the Solid X ETF for Bitcoin is going to be the institutional money. And I say that because one share, again, an ETF, you're basically buying shares of a fund. And with the Solid X ETF, one share is equal to 25 Bitcoin. So that's probably going to be a little bit too expensive for the retail buyer. The retail being like you, me, your mail carrier lady, the people at your grocery store, CVS, so on and so forth. The CBOE Grant shares and NYSE ARCA Pro shares, I believe, is probably going to be more of the retail ETF. Now, this is great because I believe with ETFs you get peace of mind, right? Yes, there's rules that come along with that, but again, in order for ETFs to exist, they basically have to have been blessed by certain powers that be. So if we've got ETFs, we've got rules, you might even have insurance. So if your Bitcoin gets hacked or stolen, at least you've got peace of mind that you can get that back. And then that starts to allow the fair weather investor ease and peace of mind to get in and start investing and ultimately drop the price up. Because I think that's what will happen if the Solid X ETF is granted. I personally think that the price of Bitcoin, and I remember when this market share was at 504 billion, half a trillion, what all these prices look like. And it was only but a few months ago. And if the Solid X ETF gets granted, the price of Bitcoin could go up, and if the price of Bitcoin goes up, we already know what happens to the subsequent coins in the alt markets. They all tend to follow. So I think that could be huge. So if you've been thinking about a time to get back in, if you've been waiting, things right now are still on sale. I personally, in my own opinion, don't think it's too late. So if you've got a project that you like, if you've got a coin that you like, definitely invest in it. Okay. The only other thing that I think what would make the average retail investor, make it easier for them to get in, is if you could get to a point where exchanges were readily accessible. Enter Binance, because Binance just released some information, some news that they want to get to a point where they have an exchange on almost every continent, making the accessibility very clear, very present for investors that want to take part in the crypto space. Not only that, but if we could actually get exchanges to move to a platform where you could exchange your country's fiat to get into respective cryptocurrencies without having to go from one exchange to the other, I think that'll make it easier for a lot of people. Because if you're not really fully versed in this stuff, it's a little bit of a task to do that, and it takes time, and you might miss a position if you don't have any money on a prospective exchange. So this just came out yesterday. The CEO of Binance was basically talking about how he built Binance from a 15 million initial coin offering to the world's largest crypto exchange. I mean, my hat goes off to him. The guy, he's absolutely killing it. I've tried playing around on Binance and various other exchanges. I think Binance probably has the easiest use of any of the exchanges that I've personally toyed around with. And again, here, see, fiat is still where the money is all in. See, you got to make it easier for people to get their fiat in so they can take part in the prospective cryptocurrencies that they want. But that just went live on CoinDesk just yesterday, and I'll go ahead and leave a link to that in the description, as well as Okcoin, again listing XRP and various other coins, Zcash, Stellar, OX, and Cardano on their exchange, again a US, I believe, exchange. The other thing I want to talk about here is, again, if you take a look at everything that I've presented to you so far, you can slowly start to see that we are moving towards adaptation. Fidelity Investments aims to release a crypto product by end of year. Abigail Johnson, while at the FinTech conference in Boston, was basically stating that, hey, we've got a slew of projects we hope to see released by the end of the year. Okay, a few things underway. The announcement will come as welcome news to crypto markets, which continue to anticipate the entry of large institutional investments. Again, people like Fidelity, the ETFs with Bitcoin that hopefully get approved. The anticipation of large institutional funds that has not yet taken place in a market with total capitalism still below $300 billion. And I've seen reports, what would happen if we got 10% of fixed income? What would happen if we got 10% of what gold is at? What would happen if we got 10% of this type of asset class or that type of asset class? You would be looking at a multi-trillion-dollar market cap. What would a multi-trillion-dollar market cap mean for these prices? I think everyone watching this video knows exactly what that would mean. Now, they're not working on the crypto products it thought it would be. Johnson also stated that while the company is still exploring uses for crypto and blockchain technology and modifying the ideas along the way, its goal is to place the needs of the market before technology. Personally, I think what they may be looking at is how can they offer existing products to people who are looking to enhance or strengthen retirement programs. I think it's safe to say that the programs that are out now, they need to be more innovative. They need to offer more solutions, and I think that's probably what Fidelity is looking to go with. So now you start to have, you see more companies that you have familiarity with going towards crypto. Pierce Waterhouse and Cooper, one of the big four auditors, buys a stake in VeChain. Pierce Waterhouse Cooper, I'm sure you heard of them. If you haven't, they're a multinational auditing and consulting firm. Again, they acquired a minority stake in Chinese startup VeChain. Global technology, limited blockchain service provider specializing in anti-counterfeiting supply chain management. Now, for a lot of people who don't know, in China you have huge counterfeit wine problems. With luxury goods, you have huge counterfeit problems all across the world, in the US, in China, in Latin America, wherever. And if they can bring a solution or put a dent in the problem that ails these companies simply by using VeChain's RFID technology and blockchain, where you can track inventory at any point in time, in real time, now you can start to offer that same solution to cell phone manufacturers, to auto part manufacturers, to, you know, people who make GPUs for computers, or basically anyone who's got a product, a physical, tangible product. VeChain system is designed to apply IoT technology, Internet of Things technology, to create private keys for each product, making it possible to trace them throughout the distribution process. PricewaterhouseCoopers participation will contribute to VeChain's expansion in Hong Kong and Southeast Asia. I think that's where it starts. It's no secret we, in America, haven't really grabbed blockchain and crypto by the neck and tried to make it our own, but that's exactly what they're doing in Asia. I think this could be a huge game changer. When I first saw it, I'm like, who cares if you can track a Louis Vuitton purse, and then I started thinking about the much larger applications. Medicines, right? Resources. This is pretty big news. I will go ahead and leave that one, the link to this story, in the description of the video as well. So what have we seen here? We've got ETFs that are getting ready, and I hope I can say getting ready to be launched, but at least, the verdict's going to be weighing on them. We've got more household names of multinational companies that are getting into bed with cryptocurrency. We've got accessibility growing by the day, where almost everyone should be able to access cryptocurrencies, certain coins. We here in the States are getting to a point where, crypto is starting to be looked at in a positive light and maybe not in a negative light that it once was. So I think the market is prime, and folks should make sure that they're in a position to seize that opportunity. Again, I'm not your financial advisor, but just want to give you something to think about here. If you like what you've seen on the video so far, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We want to get back to giving you guys more quality content. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Get familiar with Bitcoin ETFs and what this could mean for the market. Try and educate yourself on this thing, and really try to get familiar with technical analysis. So if you see certain patterns in the market as things start to unfold, because it's my opinion that in the next couple days the market's going to go absolutely nuts the closer we get to the Bitcoin ETF decision. Okay. Until next time, guys, I appreciate you for watching this video. I tried to keep it short. This is the abridged version. There's so much more detail and information I want to go into, but perhaps I'll do that in a subsequent video. Comment if you haven't, like the video if you haven't, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.